Hello everyone! You have often asked me if I could build a motorcycle model, and I decided to meet your wishes and really build one. Even if I have never done it before. And by the way, thanks for all the requests, since they help me to choose my next models and sometimes to try something new. Here is the finished model, but it will be a very long way until I get to this result. So let's see how to do it. As I said before, it is my very first model of a motorbike ever, so it will be very challenging and of course a lot of fun. I choose adorable looking Suzuki from 1986 in 1:12 scale for this video. The kit is made by Fujimi. The instruction manual doesn't look so complicated at the first glance, but I have a bad feeling about this. As you can see, plastic parts are nicely molded with many details. I cut them from the sprue with sharp side cutters, and then I clean the molding lines and other irregularities with a knife. I use this very thin glue for gluing, since working with it is very fast and clean. I do not have any additional accessories for this kit, so I must make some small modifications by myself. For example, I make holes into the braking discs with a small drill. It is not difficult, but you must be careful to make the holes in the right position, otherwise you could destroy this part. The result is much better and more realistic. But it does not end here. Another cool technique is to make discs abraded from braking. I clamp the disc into the drill and turn it on. Now I just put a coarse file on the rotating disc. I do not have much experience with motorbike models, so before I paint it, I try to assemble the model without gluing. I recommend doing this step if you are not sure how each part fits with others. And because this is my first model of motorbike, I am not sure at all. Now I know how to build model. However, first I must clean the molding lines on each plastic part. This step is very time consuming, but necessary. And of course, there is a lot of patting, even on motorbike models. I fill all the joints and gaps with a Tamiya white putty. The frame is here a little bit simplified. On real motorbikes is solid, so I must fill it with epoxy putty. Another funny modification is with the chain. The plastic part is not bad, but it is solid, so I try to make the holes to each segment. This work requires some practice and little bit of patience. The result is not the best, but now the chain looks much better than before. Here you can see it in comparison. And now let's start with painting. First I coat the plastic parts with a grey primer. This step is not necessary, but I do it each time when I'm not sure if mold lines have been cleaned properly. It is easier to see all the imperfections after applying the primer, for example like here. The very crucial thing is to clean all the joints. If you do not do it correctly now, it can be possible to fix it later. Motorcycles have a lot of parts from different types of metal, and because of that I must base coat the whole model with a gloss black paint. Here I have the metallic colors that I will use. I spray metallic color with a very low pressure of 15 psi, and I use a Harder und Steinbeck Hansa 581 airbrush with a 0.2 mm nozzle. I painted all details, so now I coat the model with 1 or 2 layers of a clear varnish. After that I apply washes. Now I imitate light heat staining on the exhaust pipes with the transparent colors. So the model is almost finished now. And it only remains to paint side covers, fuel tank and other parts. Now I spray 4 layers of red acrylic color. When the paint dries, I cover red areas with masking tape. I measure precise position according to real-world motorcycle. I use for this purpose fine line vinyl masking tape, because the surface is very uneven. It is more expensive than the classic paper tape, but much better for this model. The second color was a little bit challenge. I tested a lot of paints, but in the end the most precise shade has this AK metallic smoke. Now I fix the paint with a clear varnish. Afterwards I apply water slide decals. I must agree that without decal setter, it is impossible to set them properly. Next step is to fix the decals with another 2 layers of a clear varnish. As you can see, the result is very shiny. However, the decals are raised and not smooth enough. I show you how to handle this. I unify the surface with a very smooth abrasive sheet. Now the surface is very matte, so I polish it a little bit. For this purpose I use 3 polishing compounds from Tamiya and old flannel shirt. In the end, I use finishing polishing compound and I apply it with a cotton polishing wheel. The result looks like a mirror. Finally, it only remains to paint and put together some small details. And after this step is the model finally finished. I must confess that it was one of the most difficult models that I have ever built. Especially very challenging are water slide decals, because on this motorcycle there is not an inch of a flat surface in comparison to airplanes or tanks. I'm really glad that I already have some experience with grinding, patting, sanding, polishing, decal setting and tons of other techniques. Without the knowledge and experience, it will be pretty hard to put the model together. Now I really admire motorcycle modelers, because it is not as easy as it seems. Nevertheless, it was a great fun and result worth it. So here it is. Thanks for watching and see you next time.